If Aaliyah was still alive, all of y'all would hate her if she told her story.
Yeah.
All of y'all would hate her. Kind of pushes her to the ground, but I don't think it was that big of a check because she had already lost balance once she got the ball. Angel, when she caught the ball and then Caitlyn rushed her. She had already lost balance, so she was going to fall regardless. Plus, she falls all the time. Like, if you watch her play, she's always falling.
And you're doing all this because maybe you want to get big.
He might.
She was calling him gay, too.
And I think the part where he was like, I think all he talks about is his wife's skin color, and I think she's more than that. That was shade.
Did you see the person he got caught with?
Yeah.
He was thick.
I'm supposed to say that, not you.
It's your boy RG3, and
I already hate him. He started the video with yo, yo, yo. I can tell you date white women.
This your boy.
This your boy, RG3. Like, okay.
Don't ever tell me you see my wife's humanity.
Now, she's over here wondering whether she picked the wrong black man.
And Drewski and the little boy got mad. His mama and stuff was making videos about it.
Because Drewski called the little boy fat.
And that little boy was in it. He was in the content world.
And he was fat.
It was true. But
everything that you think and say is formed around this like mist of misogyny.
No, what did you see from someone who just is a fair weather viewer?
I saw her knock her down. That's what I saw. She was like, black bitch, ugh.
The Joe Budden community had a space that was actually talking about this, and a lot of women came up on stage and they voiced their opinion about how they thought it was very ignorant.
It was.
Your whole life is revolved around talking about other people's lives.
What the fuck do you think your ass is doing on that podcast now?
This podcast is sponsored by Graffiti Tax Services. For all your tax preparation needs, you can go to graffititax.com. We're going to put the link right here. It should be somewhere. And yeah, you can head to them for during tax season. And if you have any financial or tax preparation questions, head to Graffiti Tax Services. They're our new sponsor. Thank you to Graffiti Tax Preparation Services. That's it.
We've made our glorious return back to TikTok.
Yes.
We woke it up. I had to put a clip out that it got the people going.
It definitely did. It got the men going. It got the women going.
It got everybody going.
Yeah, it definitely did. You did a good job.
I just thought it was funny that when I was supporting Diddy, when I was supporting Hallie, and I said that that DDG had to suck it up because that's her baby, all the women were supporting me. But now when I say it's you as the mom advocating for the things that you think are important, which will be, i.e., fathers being around, now it's a problem. Now what are we asking too much? I thought that was hilarious. And then they also proved something else. So I asked in the clip that I said the money was the most important thing. And then they were through the whole time were saying, why would I ask another adult to do X, Y, and Z for their kid or whatever? And it was like, okay, so it's not important then. Because if it's regardless of what the task is, if it's important for your kid, you're going to do it, no?
I think their thing more so is I shouldn't have to beg you to be a father.
Yeah, but
if you are a father.
That wasn't my what I was discussing. What I was saying.
You said they more importance is placed on the money, but I think it's just easier to get. I think it's just an easier process for you to just get the money so that you can take care of your own child instead of begging this nigga to take care of his child.
No, I completely understand, but the way that they were framing it was that isn't important. Like, that's the main thing that I kept gathering from what I was reading.
Yeah, I didn't read a lot of the comments.
Oh, no, it was a lot. There was a lot of folks arguing.
Yeah, there were a lot of people going back and forth.
So, I mean, hey, shout out to us. We back doing our thing. So you can't get mad at it.
Period.
Hate if you want. Just go and do it in the comment section like everybody else.
Yeah.
Oh, and we looking at the first YouTubes. You know what I'm saying? It's not much, but it's ours.
It's exciting.
It's ours.
Yeah.
I can't complain.
Yeah.
And this is episode 91.
Mm-hmm.
We're on the road to 100. So I mean, we're doing a lot. We're doing some big things.
We are.
Shout out to us.
Yeah. All righty. Let's get a little ratchet. All right, getting the mood set.
All right, you are now listening to Talk FNF TV. I'm your host, Absurd Rhetoric, and I'm with my lovely and amazing and gorgeous co-host, Miss Farrah.
Hi, guys.
All right, we're back for another installment. We won't be here too long. Miss Trips here. Going out and about.
I be going to the same place every time. I'm sick of it. I'm not sick of it, but I'm sick of it. I need to go somewhere else. I really do. My coworkers be like, New York again.
That's your home. That's your second home. So I mean,
yeah,
you get to see everybody. So that's gonna be exciting.
I love it there. I'm gonna eat my grandmother's cooking every day.
You're returning to a loss, but I mean, I guess the city will be mourning.
It's fine because you know what I'm gonna still be doing. We twerking on top of cars.
You didn't get that cleared at all, so that's not going into the main episode at all. We are just starting to get money. We are not about to let them take our change from us. All right? That's not what we're about to do.
I played Twerking on Top of Cars. I think that's the name of the song because that's what I'm going to be doing.
Don't make me come up there and
Top of Cars. That's the name of the song. On Top of Cars. It's not a great song.
Don't make me pull up like man. I have to turn up it there. You wasn't supposed to repeat it.
Well, you just gonna have to bleep that out.
All right, so we got to get into some pop culture discussions, but we're going to be in a little bit of the sports world because the WNBA is back, and y'all mad that the two girls is beefing with each other again.
Yeah, they gonna have like forever beef at this point.
I mean, as long as both of them stay within relevancy in regards to like how they play and Angel off the court, this is going to be fuel for a long time.
Yeah, so, I think it's good for their careers, a lifelong beef.
I mean, it is, but the implications
for you to have a versus.
The thing is just the implications of everything. We're going to get into it just a little bit. The implications of everything, to its logical extent, ends with Angel not having the best of time though,
because she's black.
That just how everything's also being painted. So if y'all didn't see, like I said, Indiana Fever played the Chicago Sky. There was the opening game of the WNBA season. And in the midst of it, again, Indiana did win the game. But in the middle of the game, around I think it was like third or fourth quarter, Caitlyn gives a hard foul to Angel Reese. Angel Reese did not appreciate the hard foul.
She fully knocked her down.
I mean, it was part of the game, but
women play hard.
I mean, it also looks harder when y'all are smaller. You know, y'all have a different frame than men.
Yeah, so, I guess. I don't know. I feel like they be playing petty. I feel like they be trying to hurt each other for real.
Now, to me, well, if you look at the play, she's going for the ball, and then she does give a little check at the end that kind of pushes her to the ground. But I don't think it was that big of a check because she had already lost balance once she got the ball, Angel. When she caught the ball and then Caitlyn rushed her, she had already lost balance, so she was going to fall regardless. Plus, she falls all the time. Like, if you watch her play, she's always falling. That's part of just her giddiness of trying to, be active and whatnot. So
I thought you were gonna say like she just got long, awkward limbs that she don't know how to control.
No, she just she's not a skilled player. She's an active player. She plays hard. So because when you're playing hard, it means you're gonna lose your balance. Sometimes you're gonna fall on the ground. Like that's gonna be a part of it. So that's just kind of the style of the game that she kind of has to play because of her skill set. But Caitlyn did get a triple double in the game, and they end up winning. And it kind of set everybody a storm. Way I look at it, again, I play ball, I play hoop. I didn't foul folks way harder than that. I've been fouled harder than that. That's just part of the game. She didn't go for the head. She didn't like stand over her and try to like intimidate her after she did it. To me, it was a clean foul. But what did you see from someone who just is a fair weather viewer?
I saw her knock her down. That's what I saw. She was like, black bitch, ugh. Like,
see, the reason why,
not literally, but like that's basically what I saw. That's what I interpreted it as.
The thing was, like, what I really didn't like about it was, generally speaking, the consensus was everybody was upset about how Angel reacted. And the reason I didn't like what people were talking about, because when I play ball and I fouled a guy hard and he reacted like Angel did, in my head, you're acting like a bitch. So when I see two women get into a similar altercation and it looks a similar way to that, I'm like, that's just normal. Why wouldn't that happen?
Okay, so when
did I say something crazy?
Because everything that you think and say is formed around this like mist of misogyny.
No,
I'm like, oh, if men did that, they be acting like little women, but they women, so they could act like that. Like that's what you just said.
Okay,
and that's a mist
true.
of misogyny around. There's a like the morning dew, just a gentle mist of misogyny on every opinion that you have.
But what you fail to ignore, in my opinion, is that I'm holding the men and the women in the same light. I'm not just pointing at Angel and saying, "You're this aggressive woman. Why are you acting crazy about that?" Okay, that's all.
Regardless of whose side you're on, you could be fully on the woman's side, but it's a misogynistic dog whistle in the messaging. If you listen deep enough, there's always something a little bit off. Like you're not on our team for real when you want to be on our team. You're not.
I'm just
you one of them. You a op, and you're always gonna be a op.
I'm just keeping it a bean.
You a op in sheep's clothing.
No, I'm just keeping it a bean. That's how I would look at it. So it made sense to me. And I didn't think it was fair that people were trying to make it seem like she was doing something that was no other player would have done. I've seen players react over lighter fouls. Way
worse. Draymond be punching people in the face.
I mean, I just seen guys fight over just getting a hip check. Like not even nothing too crazy. Like the bench is cleared in a playoff game because somebody hip checked Steve Nash and it got crazy. So
and
I mean,
the men aren't being called aggressive and angry and unnecessary emotions and all that. They're not. They're just like, yeah, he got a little heated.
He
got a little heated. Yeah.
The part that I didn't like though about what Angel did. So I watched a little bit of what Angel has played last year and stuff like that, and she got fouled hard too. Like there was older girls and there was the players who were veterans who were fouling her real hard last year. And the thing I don't like is you didn't get tough with the older girls. You didn't get tough with the veterans when they was pushing you around.
You think it's because it was her rookie year?
No, I don't. Because when it was people smaller than her, I've seen her get tough. When she can look down at a girl, she feels more emboldened. She's like when you probably like in middle school or like end of elementary school and it's like the one tall girl and she don't really fit in with the girl, so she's just a little bit of a bully because she don't fit in because she's physically more dominant than the other girls.
I got a story about that girl.
See, that's what Angel is.
It's not the story you thought it was.
I'm just saying that's what Angel is. Angel's like the what's Pataki? What's her name? Helga Pataki?
Mm-hmm.
She's like Helga Pataki or
like the Gross Sisters.
Or that's anti-black. I was trying to pick white women. She was like Patty from Hey Arnold. That's who Angel Reese is on the court. And that's why I didn't like that. I'm like, don't get tough with the little white girl when you didn't get tough with the woman last year or any other time you got fouled. You didn't get tough with them.
She's never gotten tough with anybody that she's gotten fouled against.
To me, I've only seen it when it's little people. Anytime I've ever seen her get back to somebody, it's somebody that she's looking down towards. It's never somebody she's looking eye to eye or up with.
The lady is a smart lady.
Okay, well, I mean, hey, you can do the business call if you got
I'm not about to like go at you if I think you could really like beat the brakes off me.
But then don't act tough. That's the only thing. Then I can say then you're not tough.
We can say that.
Okay, cool.
I don't think Angel Reese is trying to be tough. Tough?
You don't think she's trying to be tough?
She's trying to. I think she's trying to be a good athlete. I think she's trying to brand herself. I think she's trying to be that girl. I don't think she's trying to be like, oh, don't mess with me because I'm Angel Reese. No, I don't think she's trying to do that.
But it's because I'm telling you, I'm seeing her do it to smaller people. I think she's a bully. I don't think she's like tough. You're right. She's not tough. She's a bully. She takes advantage of the people who she physically can take it with. And
we can agree on that if that's what she's doing.
But tell us about your bully in school.
I told you that wasn't the story is not the story that you think it is. Like,
oh, she wasn't.
The tall girl that I went to middle school with, she was one of my best friends. Like, she didn't bully nobody. She had the jugs on her, and she was giving head before everybody.
Caitlyn was getting fouled all last season. And the minute she returns the favor, now she gets labeled a dirty player. That's crazy.
Anybody who's doing stuff like that is a dirty player, though.
No, that's a hard, clean foul. That was not to me, like I said, it got turned into a flagrant. I think that's just because the crowd and the environment kind of like made it feel like it was bigger than it was in her reaction. But you watch that 9 times out of 10, that's a normal, hard, I'm a competitor foul. So, but it did spark a lot of controversy. Like a lot of people were reacting to it. Are you familiar with who RG3 is?
I do not know who that is at all.
So RG3 he was my former quarterback when we were the Washington Redskins. He was a rookie of the year. I think he was a second pick overall, and his career was ended like fairly early because of injuries, and then he was relegated to being backup for most of his career. But he now does sports commentary. He worked on ESPN for a little bit, and now he kind of does his own show where he has like him and his wife she'll sit in the back and while he just talks sports or whatever. And so he reacted to this. So he had a tweet where he essentially said Angel Reese hates Caitlyn Clark. And then he goes on his show and kind of outlines why he believes that. And it got a lot of people upset, especially the boys at the pivot. So that's Ryan Clark, Channing, and Fred Taylor. Apparently, these gentlemen have become the quintessential black men who will defend black women anytime they're disrespected publicly on any platform. They did it with Andrew Schultz, but then they also had him come on the show, and I think they lost a little points. So I feel like this was a little odd because they do these little random episodes like this where they'll talk about something in the culture, and I feel like this was one of those ones where they tried to garner that favor back after losing it with the Schultz interview. And so I think I gave you a clip with Ryan Clark where he was discussing. So play that clip a little bit for us.
To being able to read the expressions of a person and know their intent, know their character, know their perspective. But he does understand hate because I think he also understands the hate of self. When you look at the play, which is all we can speak to as professionals, all we can speak to as analysts, Angel Reese pushed one of her teammates. Caitlyn Clark had a hard foul, which is part of basketball. I feel like it was assessed correctly. And Angel Reese's reaction is the sort of reaction you get in a situation when you feel like you took an intentionally hard foul. That's competitiveness. That's rivalry. That's not hate. And so now, though, when RG3 jumps to the hate train or to the angry train, and now follows along with what we saw from Keith Olbermann, what we saw from Dave Portnoy, as they poured on to Angel Reese to make her the villain in Caitlyn Clark's heroic or hero story. Right. The one thing we know about RG3 is he's not having conversations at his home about what black women have to endure in this country, about what young black women and athletes like Angel Reese have had to deal with being on the opposite side of Caitlyn Clark's rise and ascension into stardom. And a ton of her fandom has come along with some racial bias or some racial pieces to why people love her so much. And so now if you're RG3, when is the last time within your household you've had a conversation about what she's dealing with? You haven't been able to do that because in both of your marriages, you've been married to white women. You haven't had opportunities to have those conversations to educate you on what they're feeling, what black women deal with, what they're seeing when they think of a young Angel Reese. And the whole time that he's mimicking Angel Reese and bobbing his head and moving his neck while he's doing this whole piece, his wife is in the back amening and clapping. And so to me, it's just another situation that now this young lady has to deal with. When I worked with RG3, he would make all of these sort of corny jokes about milk and how much he loved it and how important it was. And he always points out on social media the color of his wife's skin, as if the color of her skin is what makes her special, as if the color of her skin is what makes her a good wife. I've met the lady, I've had a conversation with her. Right. I think she's more than that. But it also leads to what black women deal with.
See that? Okay.
Black
it's
men
shade.
Who have chose to date or marry outside of their race.
All right, we think finish it up.
They always feel like they have to go the extra mile to prop up the woman that they're married or the woman that they're with over black women by denigrating black women. I feel like we should have an opportunity to move past that and understand that Angel Reese can be great in her own right, as Caitlyn Clark is as well.
All right, so I just want to say, because there's another reaction to RG3 that we're going to play in just a moment, but I have to say, you can tell he really don't like RG3. That nigga didn't stutter once.
No, he was like, that man does not have these conversations in his house because he married the milk and he loves the milk and that's all he can talk about. And every time I was in a room with the man, that's all he can say. And I think the part where he was like, I think all he talks about is his wife's skin color and I think she's more than that. That was shade.
Yeah, I mean, that was shade saying that you only value her because of that complexion.
Yes, and I feel like a lot.
And he said, I see the humanity in your wife where you don't. I'm killing you. Don't ever tell me that you see my wife's humanity.
Now she's over here wondering whether she picked the wrong black man. She's like, wow, I could have had one that respects my agency as well Like,
I'm not just a tall glass of milk to him.
oh my goodness. Like, I could have had love and respect.
So I do want to say this before because I was having some conversations about this, and they were saying, and I seen like some other football players and a lot of people try to say that he was talking about RG3's wife in a negative sense. Did you get that at all?
No, not at all.
Okay, before we get into play RG3's clip now, in regards to his response to that. That should be one of the first ones I sent you.
RG3, and I just wanted to, yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy RG3, and
I already hate him. He started the video with yo. I can tell you date white women.
This your boy.
This your boy RG3. Like, okay, continue.
wanted to get on here and talk to you guys because there's been a lot of buzz, a lot of conversations about my sports take that Angel Reese hates Caitlyn Clark, which was purely based in basketball. But I think all of you know there's a line in life that you just simply don't cross. Wives and children are always off limits. And Ryan Clark
Children are
sprinted past that line. Ryan Clark didn't like my sports take that Angel Reese hates Caitlyn Clark. And that's fine. It's okay. It's part of the game. Sports media, I'm going to have an opinion. This person might not agree with it. That person might not agree with it. But what you don't do is turn around and personally attack me and my family just because you don't agree with a sports opinion that is purely based off the sport. I didn't make it personal. But what that really shows is just how low of a person Ryan Clark is. But Ryan, you crossed the line, man.
This is so corny. Like, I don't even think he believes himself in the bullshit that he's saying right now.
In sports media for personal attacks. I've said it before. But certainly personal attacks against wife and children have always been off limits. You attacked me.
Can I stop this? I can tell he trying to be a real nigga, but you don't know how to do that.
It's nowhere near your core at all.
Nope. You just sound lame.
And so that was the main thing I wanted to ask you after we, listened to his reaction. Like, I don't feel like he attacked his wife in any capacity.
Not at all.
I think
he attacked RG3.
Yeah, I think that was the main thing that he went out. And when he was talking about, when he brought up his wife, he was only merely talking about that is who you as an individual prop up. Mm-hmm. And for what reason? It's not like you're saying she's smart, she's super athletic, she's funny. No, you're propping her up because she's white. Yeah. And they went through it sounded like all this time when he's talked about putting milk and all this other stuff when he had pictures of his wife. And I was also having this conversation with somebody that was saying that he was out of line for saying he doesn't know, he's not aware of the experience of black women because he has a mom and an aunt and all this stuff. And I sat back and thought about it for real, and I was like, that's not enough. That's not really an experience with black women. If it's your mom, sister, cousin, family, you don't really encapsulate a lot of that. You don't really absorb a lot of that because those experiences are going to be similar, probably similar to yours, or you're going to have like a bird's eye view of it to where it's not really culture you're seeing. You're not really seeing somebody who you have to experience from their words per se. You're just like, okay, well, I know you didn't do well in school, so I know you don't focus on this. I know, so that's what you can do with family. You can't do that with a stranger.
You're seeing them personally. You're not seeing them like from the macro view of like you're a black woman, an African American woman. You're like, you're my mom, you're my aunt, you're my sister. And I have a kind of an example of this. Like one of my good friends, his wife is white, and I remember one time we were having a discussion of who kind of gets it the worst from our community if they date outside the race. And my argument to him was like, black women get it worse because when black women date outside the race, wenches and a bunch of stuff.
Well, not even just that, they get it from other black women, and they get it from black men. When a black man does it, most likely he's just going to get it from black women. Yeah, and the only time you'll get it from black men is if you're being overbearing. You're doing too much with it. Like
RG3 was, yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like even then, like the people that I know who've dated out their race and stuff, it's never been this obsession like it was what it seemed like for RG3. And it just makes sense that's like when you speak about this and you're heavily critical of a black woman, that's going to come into people's mind. They're going to see that you value your wife for her being white, and I'm going to assess that your comment comes from a place of not valuing Angel Reese because she's black. And it may not even be that cut and dry with it, but more than likely lived experiences and things of that nature, I'm probably right.
RG3 is the perfect example of like the type of black men that we be talking about when black women are like, we don't care that y'all be dating white women, just shut the fuck up about us. Like, you love your white woman, do what you want to do, just leave us out of it. Like, I hate that. God, wait, before we leave the WNBA stuff, I saw somebody say, because you see how they walk in with like they cute little outfits and stuff on. I forget the creator's name, but she was like, she wants the WNBA players to stop wearing heels, not because for anything other than they look extremely unstable. None of them know how to walk in heels, and somebody's gonna break an ankle, and and you can't play for the rest of the season. Like, stop wearing the heels. And then there was just a compilation of Angel Reese just
like a deer.
Like, girl. And then she was like, I gotta take these off. You know, you can't stay a baddie for long. How long did it take for you to get from the parking lot to that hallway, girl? You wasn't up all night in them. Like, and give me a break.
And she know that they called her to the place and said, okay, we're going to say action, and then you start walking. Like, you didn't have to do all that. She's over at capping. But, all right, so we got to get into a little bit more. We're not going to get too much more into the Diddy case. There has been, like, tons of more testimony since we've last discussed. A few male escorts here and there. I believe, isn't Kid Cudi now supposed to be testifying? What I seen being reported now.
Yeah.
But I just think that the reaction to Cassie's testimony.
I think he testified today.
Okay, that's what I thought I saw. But I wanted to just get into kind of like the reaction around Cassie's testimony and the defense. And you see just kind of like a lot of people, obviously we had our opinions. Everybody just kind of brought out their opinions. And there was this discussion around questioning Cassie and saying, hey, are we allowed to say some of your story seems fishy and potentially we feel like you were a participant rather than a victim? And I think that was kind of going on. I think I sent you a clip with Gilbert Arenas playing it. So I wanted to play that in just a moment.
I think it's really, it's a gray area, and it's like a shady area for us to like start questioning her role in being a victim. Mm-hmm. Because being a victim is extremely complicated. It messes with your head. It changes your morphology basically, completely. So I don't think any of us regular people who haven't been through this type of trauma at all could speculate as to whether her behavior over the 13 years that she was with him is normal or not. We don't have the basis at all. And sometimes it's okay to be like, I don't have enough knowledge to have an opinion on this.
Oh, that dirty. Oh, you don't listen to Kid Cudi no more? Breaking news, Kid Cudi. What are you going to... Look at breaking news. It says sex trafficking and racketeering. What the fuck is he going to go up there and say? The nigga tried to burn my car? What does that got to do with racketeering and sex trafficking? Was the motherfucker in there hiding? Was they sex trafficking people through your car before you burn? What does your testimony have to do with these charges? I think the DA doing this shit on purpose. You better start bringing in some motherfucking kidnappers. We don't care about everything else. I don't care about the assistant wanting a job, not wanting a job, getting hit with a skillet. I don't care. Where the kidnap people at? Where they at? That's what I came here for. I want to see motherfuckers, slave-looking people coming out bushes and shit. Y'all done found them. Like, this is crazy. Yeah. Come on.
Okay, so that's my boy Gilbert, man. You know, that's my guy. But the ignorance is off the charts.
Before you begin, there's one part in, like, before the trial, I did think that, like, it would be much more dramatic than it currently is from what we're seeing. Like, I really thought that they was going to be, like, pulling people out his basement. Like,
well, I think that's one of
like
the
on
issues.
Some R. Kelly.
I think that's one of the issues that we kind of have as a group of people where we see things like this. It has to be this super violent, vile,
the most dramatic.
Yeah, like we have to make this into this complex thing when the fact that he blew up someone's car is a crime. That's racketeering.
And then they have to like let the jury know that this is the type of behavior that this man has engaged in the past however many decades. Like, this is who he is. So he is capable of XYZ, which is what we're charging him with.
One of the other things that people don't understand is like, you can ask questions about a case. That's nothing wrong with asking a question. There is a thing such as a bad faith question. And what I mean by that is, if you're paying attention to the trial and you're listening to the facts that she's telling, the context that she's putting this into, then you would easily understand that her brain is not in the place that it could make a conscious decision. I said this when I was in Spaces the other day. I said, you keep placing her and asking in situations and asking, why didn't you act rationally when she was not in she was in an irrational state?
Yeah,
she was not a rational person at that moment. So to ask her why she didn't do something rational is a bad faith question, and it feels like either you don't care about the case, and so you're just asking questions just to have yourself be heard, or you're sinister and you're trying to make this woman who's clearly giving you reason to believe that she was abused, was a mental victim to somebody, and you're just trying to demonize her instead.
All sides,
of course,
and y'all cooking.
Of course.
I'm gonna read y'all what Willie D had to say, because
I mean,
I enjoy Willie D.
Southern man.
I absolutely love
That's
Willie
my brother.
D.
Shout out to Willie D.
Willie D says, I know some of you are about to be tight over what I'm about to say, but I'll take my chances. See, Willie D is braving the niggas already. He jumping out there, but that's why I fuck with him.
Yeah.
I don't have a dog in the fight, but using Cassie's youth as a blanket excuse for the choices she made during her decade-long relationship with Diddy is problematic because it removes the necessary element of accountability, without which no one learns or grows. Diddy and Cassie is a cautionary tale for men who use their money and power to abuse others. On the flip side, it tells young women who will come after Cassie, no matter what you get yourself into and who gets hurt, as long as you are young, you won't be held accountable. By her own admission, she stayed not out of fear, but because she didn't want another woman to take her place. Cassie is not some helpless victim. She is a savvy home-wrecking opportunist who left Ryan Leslie for Diddy, knowing he was with Kim Porter simply to upgrade her lifestyle, turning both Kim and Ryan into collateral damage. And let's not forget the kids. In court, she testified that she enjoyed the freak-offs, just not as often as Diddy did. She ultimately left him for the trainer he paid for, tried to blackmail him for $30 million, and when that failed, sued him and walked away with $20 million. Now that she's the prosecution star witness trying to bury him, yes, Diddy was abusive and should have been punished for it. But let's not pretend Cassie didn't cash in after every black. No, I don't feel comfortable saying that.
So before
That's so weird.
And I feel like Joe was using that as a way to push his own talking points out.
Yeah, without saying it
accountable.
himself and taking accountability, which is really fucking ironic, because how are you trying to not take accountability for your own opinion and saying that this victim should take accountability for being victimized?
So then the Joe Budden community had a space that was actually talking about this, and a lot of women came up on stage and they voiced their opinion about how they thought it was very ignorant.
It
thought
was
disgusting, the conversation they were having, and it got to the point where Joe came up on stage where he was upset about this, and it's like, but nigga, you are ignorant. You are ignorant about this, and you probably come from a mindset, when you think about this, your mindset, your brain, the way that you process this, you come from a mindset that, hey, I potentially engage in certain behaviors like this.
You and Diddy are nipple brothers. Y'all are nipple buddies. Y'all rub nips together.
See, I wasn't gonna go that far.
I will, like both of y'all. Y'all are both weirdo nipple rubbing niggas.
And again, this idea around domestic violence, around the fact that his issue with the word Stockholm syndrome and stuff like that, these are just things that you're not
issue with Stockholm syndrome because you don't fucking know what Stockholm syndrome is.
No, it's because he can't allow he can't allow for his actions to have a level of accountability. Like I said, we've talked about this on the show before, a list of women who have accused him of something. So when you have that mindset of And just we talk about the way he deals with his girl. When you have this mindset of I am the bigger deal, I'm the bigger person, you feel like anybody should just fall in line. Like there's a part in his brain where he feels like Cassie should have just fell in line. That you were in a position that you were not going to make for yourself. So why are you upset about anything that you have to do? But y'all don't take into consideration anything that y'all say and add a little bit of critical thinking. Just a little bit.
Y'all don't like doing that.
Because if you ask the fact that she's 19, she's not fully developed. She's learning how to be a woman from this man. Then you try to bring in Ryan Leslie. She was 16, abused. Her brain is nothing but abuse. And this goes, and I've said this on the show before, and I'm going to say it again. If Aaliyah was still alive, all of y'all would hate her if she told her story.
Yeah.
All of y'all would hate her.
She wouldn't be your baby girl anymore. She would be a whore. And she'd like, oh, why did you wait so long to come out and tell us and this and that? Like,
that's exactly what I see when I see these conversations with people. And I feel bad for like the women that have to hear it, because it lets you know like men for a large part don't understand consent, and they don't see a female body as something that needs to be viewed as a person. It's very clear that way.
And then whoever this Willie D guy is saying that Cassie took Diddy away from Kim and this and that. Like Diddy wasn't like planning whole elaborate events just to like get near her and trick her into like being near him. That's not even true.
And just to wrap up the section, Joe did another thing that was really nasty. He gave Mark a book, and the book was from, I guess, a former bodyguard of Diddy. And this bodyguard is on trial, I believe, for rape. And like the book, I guess, is trying to like justify him or try to say he's innocent or whatever. But just to pass that book when there are women in this world right now who know who that individual is, who have made claims against him and are trying to fight that he goes in jail, to just, oh, he's a good dude, read the book. It's vile, man. That's some sick stuff to me.
Even though I enjoy Mark on the show, I don't know how long I can like blindly just continue listening to this podcast with the running list of atrocities that Joe has committed against women. Like, I think I'm just gonna stop listening to the show again. Like, really enjoy Mark, but
just listen to the Night School.
Yeah, everybody else is just terrible. Like, I don't even like Mel that much. I like her opinions are fine, but like she's not that entertaining to me anymore.
Yeah, I just think it creates good dynamics to understand like these are how common people think for the most part. And when you have somebody like Mark in the room, it allows you to learn tools and techniques to counteract it. So when you're in those situations in real life, now you have a framework on, how to combat it. So I think that's what the bigger portion of that.
All you gotta do, Mark, all you gotta do is ask dumb niggas questions.
I mean, they're gonna be dumb
about the things that they are saying.
Oh, well, then that gives them headaches. They don't like doing that.
Yeah, like that's what Mark be like. Okay, and then let me ask you some more questions about what you just said.
I mean,
and then next thing you know,
who told him to do that?
Who? Oh, you did.
I see. That's how I know I'm not fly to her no more, yo. I just want y'all to know that I'm a regular nigga to my wife, yo. I used to be superior, but
you are still a superior man.
Nah, dog, I'm normal. All right, so we got to talk about Candace Owens. We got to bring her up again. This has to be one of the sickest women of all time. I don't even understand how, as a woman, you would get this off. So she did an interview with Harvey Weinstein, and she put it on her page for like Patreon. She posted a trailer on here.
How?
Well,
he's in prison, right?
Well, he's having his trial is actually being done over for the New York case. He's in prison for the LA trial that he had. He's still trying to get that appeal, but he got appealed for New York. And so basically what happened was he didn't get like he did anything, like he proved his innocence. They used someone's testimony that wasn't allowed to be used in court. And so because that testimony was used, the judge allowed that testimony to be used, they have to do the case over again, the New York one. So, but he's actually talking to her from prison, and I think it's the LA.
Not commit these crimes. I swear that before God and the people watching now, and on my family. The people who support me are scared to talk. They are frightened to death that they're going to be canceled.
What I always found to be problematic about the Me Too movement from the beginning, we're conflating he made a pass at me and I didn't like it with rape.
It's a complete fabrication about my relationship with Gwyneth. I didn't put my hand on her. I didn't touch her. I definitely made a pass. Ashley Judd's claims are ridiculous. I settled with Rose McGowan. I gave her $100,000. Don't tell my wife. Don't get me in trouble. It's all conflated, and it's all led to the idea that I am going to be the one they persecute. They broke me. They broke me in half.
There's just so much when you read the transcripts that defy common sense for me.
I've asked to have lie detector tests brought into the prison. So I know they're not admissible, but I want the world to know.
To be honest with you, I think a lot of people are going to hear this conversation.
Candace, one thing I can tell you is this is going to explode.
So this is the lady who we discussed on our show who was obsessed with Frankist, talking about the Jews doing all of these nasty things to people. And now she brings on her show King Nasty. What he is? He's a Jewish man and he's King Nasty.
I don't think you can say King Nasty.
Yo, they be calling us. We just did Black Fatigue last week.
I know,
bro.
but
Piers
we just got
Morgan,
monetized,
Piers
my nigga.
Morgan asked a white woman to say the N-word on his show. I can say that on mine.
Go ahead. Get your shit off.
And all I'm saying is doesn't make any sense to me. Like, one, we can just get into just the feminine solidarity point if you want to just touch on that. But just to be the person who you claim to be and then say all of this stuff about Hollywood is touching kids, is violent, promoting sex, and a disgusting lifestyle, then you go to the dude who was the champion of all of that.
She does not stand on anything other than I want to have a different opinion than what the majority's opinion is.
Yeah, she's just a contrarian.
Yeah, that's it.
Like, I just couldn't imagine not at least having a discussion with those women first if I knew I was going to interview him, to at least get an understanding of what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
To hear it from them if possible. Because the only reason he's going to you is because you're the only person that's going to take him.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to talk to Harvey Weinstein.
No.
Because any man that does it, you're going to look like a sicko. Any woman who does it, you're going to look like a loser. She just has so much loser on her, you can't make her look worse. She does.
She thinks that it's going to get her to like a certain point probably, but I don't know. I don't think it is. And then the comments on her thread are just like concerning. Like, he was the fall guy. Like, I believe this story and went along with it from the jump. So, like, what?
So he's the fall. Who is he the fall guy for?
What's his name?
Oh, Jeff?
Yeah.
Jeff wasn't Jeff already? Well, I guess that
Epstein.
happened. But Jeff, I'm trying to think around that time, Jeffrey Epstein was probably, he was probably dead by the time he was convicted. Yeah, because he got convicted like 21. Jeffrey was like 19. Yeah, 2019. Yeah.
I don't know. But there was one thing that she said. She said the thing that she doesn't like about the Me Too movement is that we conflated, he made a pass at me and I didn't like it, with rape. That was not what happened. It wasn't like, oh girl, you look good. Can I have your number? Like, it wasn't that. It was men in casting rooms literally pulling out their dicks and being like, you want this role? Do you want this role? That's not what it was. It wasn't just men flirting with women. It was disgusting pieces of shit men.
What I think she's doing is she's conflating, kind of like during the 2010s, there was a lot of discussion around women kind of breaking down what it is to be a woman in a day-to-day. So you remember that one clip of the woman walking through New York and she got all the cat calls and stuff? And so I think partly is because of like the PR people who are running this, like, and I don't mean official, but the people who are running PR for this kind of idea, they convoluted a lot of stuff. So I can't admit that, when people were getting accused of sexual assault or sexual misconduct, it was all looking like the same thing and it wasn't specifying it. So then when you don't do that and then someone tries to act like they're waking up the story, then it sounds like, oh, well, they're making a big deal when he just did this and I thought he did this. So now it changes things in your brain, but
we need to label things the correct thing, like
but
sexual misconduct, sexual assault.
Like the stories where he was raping women though. Like that's the thing.
There was a laundry list of things that he was doing.
Yeah, it wasn't just like he was making passes at. There was women who claimed that they got raped by him, or that they were forced to, or heavily implied to have, well, not heavily implied, but heavily incentivized to have sex with him for roles and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
So that is where the idea of you're a bad person comes from, Harvey.
But why didn't Harvey get charged with a RICO?
Well, maybe he wasn't doing the same things that Diddy was. It was like he was using people.
His enterprise?
Yeah. Like he probably was just using the fact that he was using his enterprise
His
in a different way. Yeah. He was using more his power than it was his enterprise.
So he was using like his influence and who he is instead of like everybody around.
Yeah, like
him.
his enterprise would have done the gift. So if you would have slept with me, then the enterprise would have rewarded you for that. But it wasn't like the enterprise set everything up so that now we're together and I'm committing a crime against you.
Mm-hmm.
So, but no, I just think that was just crazy. I didn't watch the whole interview. I'm not gonna pay you, Candace. I'm sorry. You're not getting no money out of me.
Yeah, more clips will come out eventually.
Yeah, you're gonna give it up anyway. You're a loosey-goosey with that. To me, I know we was joking about like getting certain deals and contracts and stuff like that, but it's just some things where it's like I couldn't imagine having a conversation with somebody like this and not being on his ass the whole interview.
Yeah.
Like that was the only way I'm going to do it. If I'm going to be able to ask my questions, be as heavily critical as I need to be, I'm not going to sit there and yes sir you and nod my head at the dude who's convicted. At least it's still one of his convictions are still in place. The New York one is being challenged again, like I said,
because of technicalities.
But the LA one is still in place. He's trying to appeal it, and we'll see what happens there. Again, justice needs to be served regardless if he you think about him. But I just don't see how Candace can live with herself. Like that just
I think she sleeps very easily at night because she's an evil gremlin.
More than likely.
Like she's completely fine.
No, she's definitely a dark woman, and it's just I couldn't imagine just being a woman knowing what you are susceptible to and knowing where men can put themselves. Maybe she doesn't believe that can happen to her, but when you look into her story, what them white boys did to her in high school, how she went to running and crying, like that's who she really is. That's her true colors. All this other stuff is a facade. So maybe she's just willing to lose her soul for it. You seen what happened with Boss Man D-Lo? We can keep this one real short, real quick.
I did, but I didn't think that was real for real because Boss Man D-Lo apparently got caught.
He Boss Man down low.
He's D-Lo on the down low. And I just, the dude.
Did you see the person he got caught with?
Yeah.
He was thick.
I'm supposed to say that, not you.
Oh, nah. Nigga was thick. I was confused. I was laying there looking at him like, how are you shaped like that? Like his legs and stuff look like a thick girl's legs. I've never seen that.
There are literally straight men who are shaped like that.
I've never noticed it. So that was the picture on my timeline. So I clicked
they don't have like skin tight clothes.
Nigga,
on like
nigga had a I've never seen a nigga faded up with a lineup and thick as shit. Like that shit was heavy.
You live in Atlanta.
I'm not looking at thick niggas. I've never seen a nigga look like that. Like anytime I've ever seen a nigga be heavy set and he got weird pants on, so I'm not looking at the nigga's ass. Like this nigga was bent over looking like he was Lotto.
Niggas be thick, double stacked up on a Tuesday.
This nigga looked like
double cheeked up.
This nigga looked like a peanut butter cup, yo, the way he was posted.
Oh wow, and that's your favorite candy. So you wanted to eat him?
No, that's not what I wanted to do, but that's what he looked like.
What did you want to do?
I was confused at first.
What were you confused about?
Because I thought
I got one of the straight ones the whole time. This nigga like thick light-skinned niggas.
I was confused.
So you like that?
No, I didn't know if that was like a transgender.
Which part of you was confused?
My head. Like this head. I didn't understand. I'm like, because at first when I looked, I was like, oh, maybe that's just a thick girl with small titties. But I'm
in a lineup.
But I was like, why you got a lineup? That don't make sense to me. Like,
maybe she a thick stud in transition.
Something I didn't know. That was what I was confused with. And then I guess there's like some more stuff coming out about Boss Man D-Lo. Like that's not his hair.
Oh yeah, that's a unit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's a 16-piece unit.
And then when I first heard this story, I thought it was the Plug X. You know, the big Plug X. I like his music. I was scared at first. I'm like, bro, this nigga too gangster to be gay. But then when I saw it was Boss Man D-Lo, I'm like, okay. That works.
The most gangstest niggas be gay.
No, not no. If Big Plug X gay, all y'all niggas gay. Real talk. It ain't no such thing as being straight if that nigga gay.
So if he gay, you gay?
Everybody gay. We
you
all
might have to
queered up.
look into some penises.
I'm not gonna look into shit, but I'm just saying.
You gonna look into studying homosexuality.
I'm not looking into any of that. I'm just confused. I'm just like, what's going on here? That's all it was. I'm not trying to wake it up on, bro. That shit was wild. You didn't see that?
I saw it. He was thick. I like when the gay boys be having the shape ups and then they be doing the concealer around the shape up line, be looking crispy as shit. That was so unnecessary.
Like
I love it though.
It's women who's putting their life on the line to look like you, bro. Like, that's crazy. Yeah. That's nuts.
He's a BBL gay. I don't know. I'm not saying he got a BBL, but like
he BB queer.
Yeah,
he
BB
queer.
queer.
He a BBQ.
Goodbye. Like Saucy Santana. Saucy Santana is thick as fuck.
Oh man, that's crazy. All right, let's finish up with this Streamer University and we can get up out of here. So Cassie, when y'all are watching this, it's gonna be one day after Streamer University starts. So he's basically kind of got a campus and everything essentially for a bunch of streamers to come out.
What shut down college did Kai rent out?
He probably got an old HBCU.
It was, that school that just shut down that all the football players were going to. Mm-hmm. And then while they were in class, they were like, your transcripts don't count. Get out. It was probably that school.
So apparently he's like getting a campus and all that together so that he can do this. He's probably just getting a school that's in between session because it's going to be in the fall. They
still be students on campus regardless.
But I'm saying you can get a space where they all going to be pushed out a particular way because most of them won't be in the dorms. Not in between the session. When the end of spring semester ends and then summer semester starts, there's like a 2-week window between there. Mm-hmm. That's probably what they're talking about right there. He's probably got a place for that little amount of time. So it was pitched as this, we're going to help streamers build their content, build their fan bases. And I guess a lot of people assumed it was going to be a lot of unknown creators.
Or not unknown, but like not
smaller
creators who have followers in the millions already.
Yeah, so
hundreds and hundreds of thousands.
I guess it was 120 people selected. I think it was like 50 of them or so, like 54 of them were well-known creators. And I think 78 of them were, I might have been off with just my number, but the rest of them were unknown, pretty much unknown or niche creators. So I put everybody's name into Gronk to kind of get the Twitter AI to kind of find any connections. Most of the ones that it was found, it was like Chicklet and his girl, of course, because they're.
Well, why? Why is Chicklet and Melania going to be at Streamer University when between the two of them, they have millions of followers, and then Melania was on Impact on BET on a whole reality show.
They got
she was boring as shit on it, but she was on it.
Deshaun Frost is on there, so I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Deshaun Frost or Deshae?
Deshae. Oh, Deshae? Oh, that was name was
He made it?
Yeah, he's on there too.
Oh,
him and his brother.
He didn't make it.
I think it's Brooklyn Frost.
That's a woman. Yeah.
Yeah, they were his sister. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they're both on there. They was on the list that I saw that made it on there.
Okay, I thought Deshae didn't make it.
No, I saw there was a big list that had him on there. So the reason why I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. The reason why you're gonna want to have more content creators that are well known, so you don't have to pay for marketing, because they can just market to their fan bases and that'll bring people to come into it. Second, people who aren't experienced in this, who don't understand the game, will switch up on you quick. They don't understand the difference between what's content and what's being for real. I'll give you a perfect example. On my old show I was doing, we were having a discussion about something the dude really cared about. I didn't really care about it. I just had good talking points to go against it. So I'm going at him. We're going back and forth. We finished the show, and I'm out of character anymore. And I'm like, hey, you did a really good job. This nigga was still mad. The camera's off, and I'm like, what are you still mad for? It's over with. He was like, nah, bro, that was crazy. And I was like, no, this is content. It's not crazy. It's content. So what you got to understand is that you can't trust that these people are going to come with good faith. You saw what happened last time when they did the Kai Cenat, what's his name, Kevin Hart and Drewski, and the little boy got mad. His mama and stuff was making videos about it.
Mm-hmm, because Drewski called the little boy fat.
And that little boy was in it. He was in the content world.
And he was fat.
It was true. but it just goes to show, it's too much of a liability. And also, if you're going up on those shows, the people who are not well known, they have the biggest risk in the whole situation because they don't have a fan base. So that means that they're going to be content. So either your emotions are going to be pushed to the limit, your character is going to be pushed to the limit, or they're going to clown you. And you're going to be used as be exploitative fodder for the stream. Yeah. And it's like you don't want to get a whole bunch of people around that because that's how you get fights that happen. You get people who don't have that cool. You realize these folks was in 100 classes when they was in there. They teachers had 2 people in there. So to keep them down, they had to take medicine breaks in between. So you learn much about people that you didn't do during your little application process.
You're a dick.
How am I a dick?
You just made fun of kids with learning disabilities.
I did not make fun of them. I'm speaking.
You're making fun of them. I'm speaking
to dangerous people and what they somewhat may have in common with kids with learning disabilities.
So was there anybody that you expected to be on that list that you didn't see on that list?
I mean, nobody that I expected, but I did see it was somebody who was upset they weren't on the list. Mm-hmm. So we've talked about her before on the show.
We have.
People got mad at us too.
What? People got mad at us?
Mm-hmm. There were some folks in the comments saying we too old to be talking about the young kids.
It was a list of people.
No, when we talked about her, when I'm talking about, we compared her and Tiffany Haddish. Remember?
Yeah.
We had put them both under the.
Yeah, but that's because she was on the XXL, like, or whatever that like next entertainers. She was on some list.
That's not why we talked about it. We talked about it because she did something stupid and we put her on the crazy like bitch of the week.
List okay. Yeah.
But she's living up to what we said. Like everything that we discussed and outlined in that video is kind of coming to fruition. Her and Kai have not been on good, I guess, the best of terms over the past few months. And she wasn't invited to the Streamer Academy.
She found out that she wasn't invited, and then she went on stream literally like crying tears. And I felt so bad because like all of her peers are going to be there and she's not. Like everyone that she has been doing this thing with is going to be there and she can't because the main dude that is the man don't fuck with you. And that sucks.
Well, the rumor is his girlfriend don't fuck with her. And that's why she's not invited around. Because there's a bunch of women that was invited to Streamer University. Very limited white males. Shout out to you, Kai, making a stance there. But yeah, I think it's also that has to do with that. Because if you look at the clips beforehand, they would do some kind of suspect, but
they would do stuff together. But then Kai came on. Because when she was crying, she was like, I have no idea why. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, we were cool and then we were just not. And he came on and he was like, first of all, I don't watch these streams. I'm just always on TikTok. So I be seeing this shit. And he was like, on this specific date, we were in front of a bunch of people and you was doing way too much. And like, that's why
I think that's what we talked about. I think that was what we had talked about.
Yeah, she was like yelling in his face. She like flipped him or something like that, picked him up. It was a lot.
Yeah, and that's what we were saying. Like, unfortunately, you're a girl. Like, when you do that kind of stuff, people are going to look at you different and crazy. And it's not going to feel something like they want to continue to mess with you. Like, this is the girl that was cool your first two semesters of college. After that, you don't really want to hang out with her no more.
From what I know of her brand and her streaming personality, like, she's always been super, like, aggressive. Like, this is the character that she puts on for her stream. So when you invite her to stuff, like, you know this is what you're going to get. You're going to get, like, aggressive. You're going to get her biting people. You're going to get her trying to, like, pick you up. Like, you're going to get all of that. So
she also got into with another streamer called Soul Illuminati. And he basically kind of went at her and told her, like, yo, you're a plant. Like, he really went at it and tried.
Well, the first video was him saying that niggas don't want you around because you emasculate men. Mm-hmm. She came back and was like, I didn't even know who this dude was. I think she said something about his family. I'm not 100% sure.
It was her, like, an Asian girl and another girl.
Yeah, and then he came back and was like, oh, now I'm gonna destroy you, and now we're here.
I does my research, and all she does is emasculate niggas. Oh! Bro,
I emasculate men? How do I emasculate emasculate men. All you see in the comments is Zoe needs to be around girls more because the guys don't treat her right. Zoe needs to go around girls more. Zoe needs to be around girls more. Zoe needs to stay away from men. But I emasculate them because of bite mark? I emasculate them because I bite? Guess what, Salabadati? Did they all tell you that they like that shit?
I don't think they did.
You might like it too. And you're doing all this because maybe you want to get big.
He might.
She was calling them gay too. That wasn't on that clip, but there was another clip of her. She was calling them all them niggas gay.
Oh no.
Yeah, she was going in at all them niggas.
That
just type in Zoe. She's like I said, man. Like women like her, you always have to kind of keep an eye out. You always want to keep at an arm's length too, because she does get off on being the tough person in the room. Like she's the tough person.
Yeah.
She the one who wants to get rough with you, want to shake you all up, and then get mad when you do it back to her. Look appalled, like, oh, I'm a woman.
I don't know if she gets mad when it gets done back to her, because like
I've seen it.
Okay, from the clips I've seen, she just be going back and forth with dudes and stuff. Like,
no, like she'll do something
louder.
and then you'll respond to it, and if she don't like it, now it's what are you doing? What are you doing, weirdo? Why are you trying to do like what the dude said? Like she does try to bring niggas down.
No, for a long time when I watched Zoe's like interacting with these guys and stuff like that, I was like, this is a little cringy. I'm kind of getting secondhand embarrassment. Most of the time when I watch her,
Especially
I get secondhand
New York.
embarrassment. Also that. But she's super young. So like if I were to be watching 22, 23-year-old Farrah on screen, like I would probably be cringing from secondhand embarrassment from my own behavior. So like she's young, just give her some space, give her some room to grow. And I do think that she needs to probably. Kai has said over and over and over again that he's trying to get out of doing content with women. Kai thinks that doing content with women is just going to lead him into trouble, point blank, period. Regardless of what's going on, he's just trying to not be around the ladies at all. There's, of course, women in Streamer University, but like that's a sentiment that he's had.
Well, it goes to what we kind of talked about last week with the women in comedy. Is a lot of the streamer girls, they are adjacent to sex, and that's what they kind of bring.
He said no OnlyFans girls, not a single one.
Well, he's lying because there's OnlyFans girls on this, on the Streamer U. Yeah, it's two girls. It's like Maya Buckets. She got a video of her giving some guy head, and it said Autumn Rain was on there, and I'm very familiar with her work. Very.
The first girl, does she only have one video of her giving head? Because that does not make you a porn star.
Well, that was the one video I seen. I don't know if she has more, but that was because when I put them all in Gronk had said there was some adult content associated to this person's name. So then when I looked it up, I seen the video of her, she was a little necker.
So I wanted to ask you a question, because if you're Kai, do you let Gigi and her beef like stop you from putting people on the list?
No, she got to understand what the game is.
I think that would probably have to be the case. Like, you got beef with her, so you want me to leave her out, even though she has like a certain following. She's part of the group. I think it's not the full reason. Like, Kai probably don't fuck with her.
Yeah, it's probably more of that. I can also understand why Kai.
We are too old to be talking about this, though.
No, we're not.
I feel pathetic right now.
We're giving y'all the sauce. Well, the thing about it is because like I look at people like, you know, the dude who just got his chain snatched, Jack Doherty, and all them guys, and how they operate on their stream. And I've seen Neon do this before, where they'll have it where it's just like, oh, it's kind of like a kickback at their house, and then they just stream in the kickback or whatever.
Yeah.
But shit gets crazy. Niggas start fighting. Niggas start doing all this other goofy shit at the party. And it was like, I understand where
it be real life.
You don't want that to get there. You don't want it to get to that point because these folks don't think. They crash outs and they nutso.
Yeah.
Everybody think that what Kai can do for him. What Kai can do for them is what he did for Ray, and I don't think that's gonna be the truth. So we'll see how this Streamer University turns out. I hope it's very highly produced. That's the one thing I want to see. I want a high produced.
I mean, that little teaser was very highly produced.
It was cool. It was cool.
I still Tyleel is a terrible actor, but that's not what you do for real. So you good. But I was like, oof.
He really taking Reggie underneath his wing. I definitely see that.
I enjoy Reggie.
Reggie's funny.
All of the little clips.
Every nigga been around a nigga that's a Reggie though.
Yeah.
Reggie the cool nigga who you be around, who smoke and just stay out the way.
And he just be saying,
but he got funny shit to say all the time.
He just be saying shit, and you're like, how did you say that? How did you come up with that? Why are you saying that? That's like completely unhinged. My favorite type of people.
All right, well, we would definitely check out Streamer U, but we thank y'all for being with Talk FNF TV. We do greatly appreciate that. Like I said, we're gonna wrap it up early because little
I got an early flight.
Little flyer mile.
I'm gonna take a little nap before I hop on this flight for real.
Well, we want to thank y'all again. Make sure y'all, support the show, hit the comments section, show us love, and, tell them what they need to do for us.
Follow us on all of the social media at talk.fnf.tv on Facebook, Twitter. What's the other one? Instagram. If you're currently listening on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. And then if you're listening on the streaming services, give us a little download. Love you. Bye.